All right, third grade, I'm glad you're back for another art lesson. We are going to be learning about line again today. You have 2 lessons on line before we're done with it. So, as always, start in the upper right-hand corner, writing your first and last name, please. I'm going to put my name. You put yours. Underneath that, I need you to put an A and a T if you're an Austin Tracy student, and a T and an H if you're a Temple Hill student. That just helps me organize things, and I really appreciate it when you're willing to do that when you send me your work back. And then you're going to put a 3 underneath it because you are a 3rd grader. All right, remember at any time if I'm going too fast, you need to just pause the video. Here we go. We're talking about line. So I need you to take notes and write the word line at the top of your paper. That is your learning intention for today. You are learning about line. Now, in order for us to be successful, there's some things we have to be able to identify. We have to be able to identify a vertical line, and you can use that little pink that's on the left-hand side of your paper over there near the circles to draw that. And let's spell out the word vertical. V-E-R-T-I-C-A-L, vertical. The next kind of line we're talking about is the one that goes this way. Do you remember what kind of line that is? I hope you just said horizontal. So vertical runs top to bottom, north to south, and horizontal goes left to right. Do you see the word horizon in the word horizontal? When somebody tells you to look over the horizon, they're telling you to look from left to right, like where the sun's going down or where the sun's coming up. All right, we have 2 more kinds of lines. They can be the ones that go this way. That's called a forward slash, or it can be a backward slash. And those are called diagonal lines. Now, these are all straight lines. When you're little, the only thing you learn is the difference between a straight line, a curvy line, a zigzag line, and a broken line. But once you're older, they have to have official names. And you'll see these names a lot in your math classes too. So we have vertical, horizontal, diagonal. Now we're going to work on perpendicular. Now perpendicular is a big fancy word, but what it means is where a vertical meets a horizontal. So where these 2 meet, they form a 90-degree angle. Do you see the squared edge that's there, like a box or the corner of a square or a rectangle? That's perpendicular. Those lines can be L's. They can be T's. Of course, they could be upside down. They could go that way, or they could go that way, or they could be an upside down T. Anywhere that it forms a squared edge, that's perpendicular. So let's write that underneath it. All right, perpendicular lines. Now, perpendicular lines form an angle where those 2 meet, and that's called a 90-degree angle. And people show that by putting a 90 with a little circle above it to show degrees. So, perpendicular lines, they're also known as 90-degree angles, and they're also called right angles. So let's write the word right. Right angles. Now, there are other kind of lines. There's intersecting and there's parallel, but we're not going to talk about those today. So let's just draw our straight line. So we have our learning intention as line. We know we're successful when we can identify vertical lines, horizontal lines, diagonal lines, and perpendicular lines that are also known as 90 and right. Okay? All right, let's get started on our drawing. Let's draw a big long vertical line that goes top to bottom of our paper. Remember, we always use this front where we learn our new concept, and you'll have to draw it by yourself on the back and take a picture of both for me and email it. Or we now have drop boxes at both our schools, and so your parents could just drop off any of your homework. If you are a virtual student, you could just drop any of your work off in any of those drop boxes, like put it in the 3rd grade box, and that teacher will get it to me. Or you can send it by email. Either way works. All right, we've got our vertical line. Let's go down here and let's only go up about 1, 2, 3. Let's go up about 3 lines. And let's draw a big long horizontal line. All right, let's evaluate what we've done so far. Did we draw a vertical line? Yes, this line right here is vertical. So let's go up here and make a check. Did we draw a horizontal line? Yes, let's give that a check. Did we draw any diagonal lines? Nope, it hasn't happened yet. So let's do a diagonal line on this side and one on this side. Just don't make them as tall as your vertical one, okay? Just have them coming out to the sides. So we've done a diagonal. Let's give that a check. Well, what about perpendicular? Oh, we've already done that. When we did our vertical and our horizontal, we formed square edges down here. Do you see those? And we had square edges before we did the diagonals too. But right now we at least have these two showing up, so we can check that off too. We have already been successful in what we needed to draw. But now let's just have some fun with it. It's turning fall. The leaves are starting to turn colors. Before long they'll be falling off the tree. So let's have some fun with some leaves, and let's draw a maple leaf out of our lines we've done so far. So I want you to go up here, and I want you to draw a smiley face on the left of it and a smiley face on the right. Now the kids in class tell me that they look more like mustaches than they did smiley faces, so I'll let you decide. And we're going to do the same thing on the end of each of these. So over here, our smiley face mustaches, I guess we'll call them both. Okay? And then we'll go over here and do the same thing. All right, now we're going to attach this so it ends up looking like a maple leaf. Are you ready? This is a smiley face, and it needs to be a big, deep one. So I need you to do a big, deep smiley face between those two. And remember, if I'm going too fast, pause the video. And do a big, steep smiley face on that one. And now do a big, deep smiley face on this one. And do the same thing over here. We're almost finished. Now, we're not going to do a smiley face. We're going to do a lazy rainbow. So find the bottom of this one. Do a lazy rainbow that comes back in there. And do the same thing over here. Lazy rainbow. You have just drawn a pretty decent looking maple leaf. But now let's take it up a notch. And let's include all of our lines inside of it. Okay? So let's make all of this section all vertical lines. So let's do all straight lines inside of our leaf. I switched markers and got a thinner one. You're using a pencil, so you'll be fine. Now, if you have coloring pencils at home, you don't have to. You get credit for this assignment just using a pencil. But if you have coloring pencils and you want to do these with the different fall colors, that looks really neat too. So we've done our vertical. Now let's do a horizontal line. Let's do that over here. And we can use those pale blue lines that are on the paper to help us with that. All right, what have we got left? Diagonals. Let's do diagonals on this side and this side. What do you say? We'll just make them follow the one that's already there. All right, let's try the other side. All right, I'm happy with that. Now, what do we got left? Perpendicular. So let's put T's on this side and L's on this side. What do you say? They'll have to be tiny. I don't even know if they'll show up on my phone here filming this for you, but hopefully it will. So I filled that one full of T's. I'm going to fill this one full of capital L's. Maybe I can sneak a few in there, very tiny. All right, that's all we've got for today. And again, if you want to do those with different fall colors, it'll end up looking really neat like a maple leaf does with different colors in it. we'll get to a color unit that we'll do here in another week or two. But when we turn over on the back, yours will be white, of course. Mine's bled through with the marker. But on the back, draw me a bigger version of a maple leaf now that you know the technique. And make sure you include all these lines. I hope you had fun today. I'll see you next time.